Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome back to the Dynamo. Okay, so we're going into how to set up league structures, which is this is the main meat and potatoes, the main body of the entire project itself. So this is the one where probably pay the most attention to this one because this is foundational to everything else that you do. The basics of just how you get into it. I'm just, again, because this is a guide tutorial series, I'm just going to show you how to open up a previously edited file, because I'm presuming after all of the fucking erasing of files to get rid of the badges, I'm presuming you wanted a break as well. So you're going to load editor data, not load database. You've already loaded the database. Database is just the raw unconstructed file, just like all of the details. The editor data are the edits you've made. So you go in here, now you see I have a few in here, so I'm going after Ireland 430 team. Notice how I have 650, 346, 340. I have many different save files trying to kind of get myself that bit of a workflow so that if I make a mistake, I can roll back to a previous one. So let's open this up. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here because this is the Irish Lower Division 340. I don't want this anymore. So if you go back to division, highlight division, click on the division itself, and then click remove. You can click clear, but what that'll do is that'll get rid of everything that's in this file. Okay, so we're going to database, competitions, same as last time. Ireland and clubs, nation. Nope. Ireland. Okay. Now, sometimes you'll want your leagues to be big, sometimes you'll want them to be small. What'll usually, for me, determine a big league, and by big I just mean like whether it's like 10 teams, 15 teams, 16, 20, sometimes even 24 leagues. You got the championship in England. Outrageous number of games, 46 games a season. Outrageous to me. For me, what determines how many teams you'll have is the relative level of competition existing within the league structure itself. Let's look at the League of Ireland. The most reputable team in Ireland, the Shamrock Rovers, 4,800 reputation. It's about 2.5 stars. You don't have to go far before you get down to like the 260. 260 is 2 stars, maybe 1.5 stars. So already we've got like a gulf in class between. So like, let's go to Cove Ramblers. Cove Ramblers has 2,800 reputation. Shamrock Rovers. That's 19 clubs. So the least reputable club, if you were to have like a 20 team Premier League, which is what most people automatically default to because the Barclays Premier League, 2,600 versus 4,800. That's a gulf. I mean a gulf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a smaller league, so it's smaller games. But what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to cover this in this episode, this will be a further episode, I'm going to pair it with a secondary division to get the other games, because one of the things that I love about Football Manager and the way the editor works is that you know when you go into like a player's history and if you look at their league, what it'll do is it'll show you the primary division that they're based in. So for this, if it would be like the Irish Premier League, but if they were based in the secondary division, say like the Munster Premier League, they will have appearances in the Munster Premier League. Those appearances will be listed under the dominant league they're in as total league appearances for that season. So even if you have like a league that only has 10 teams in it, so you've a total of 9 by 9, 18. So you have 18 league games in that season. If you have another subdivision with 10 teams again, you end up getting to your 36 total. So I'm going to be exploiting this, and I'm going to be doing that across 2 or 3 things. So let's start off. Now, the first thing I want to do is I always have a calculator up whenever I'm doing this, just because it's math intensive. I'm going to have a primary league, a national league system of 12 teams, and then I'm going to have a secondary competition with 4 subdivisions for the provinces of Ireland. So I want to have 12 teams in the primary and 8 teams in the secondary division. So what I want to do is 12, nope. So 12 minus 1, because every team plays every other team. So it's just number of teams in the competition minus 1 times 2. So it's 22 league seasons, and then plus 7 plus 7. 36. Across both, I'm going to end up playing 36 league games. So that's what I'm going to do here. So first thing I'm going to do is just make it easier on myself. I'm going to edit everything. I'm just going to remove division because it'll just make it easier for myself going forward. Okay, come on, I believe in you. Keep going. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 3650, 4800. That's a nice competitive level. So notice what I did there? Highlight, edit. These don't share anything. Now, notice how they share their nation, they share their Continental Cup nation, but they don't share their base nation. What's changing this is Derry City, because Derry City is based in the north of Ireland. If I was to unclick Derry City, now it shows Ireland because the rest of them are based in the Republic. So that's just, you can kind of click and select these. Another handy is like reserve teams, they all have an under 19s team. But if I was to like go into the specifics, like they also have an under 19s team there. They have blah, blah, blah. See if I can get there. They have a reserve team as well. So that's going to be interesting. And I will be showing you this later. So competitions, and I want them to go into, now it is nation, Ireland. I'm just going to control paste. Okay. So show up our reputation. Oh, excuse me about that. Okay, going straight into the Electricity Premier League. Now, why the Premier League? Because if I go into competitions, I have the most reputable, but type domestic top division. That's what I'm looking for. It's got its reputation. Parent competition, I'll be getting to this later. Lowest official category allowed. I've never really bothered with this one. It's never really been all that interesting to me. Type domestic top division. What a top division does that a regular division doesn't is that European competitions pull from top divisions. So the way the continental clubs work is that they request nations, and what you do is you give it a nation to request teams from, and then what it does is it pulls teams from that nation's top division. So it's important that you identify the top division. Competition level 1. Always put it at the top. Reputation out of 200. So this thing is dog tier. Absolutely crap. Minimum pitch lengths. I tend to just leave these default. One of the things I use is goal line technology. I'm going to turn this up because I like my VAR. I'm controversial like that. I like it. So okay, and then teams. You've got our 12 teams in there. Teams for next season. 11. So which team am I missing? I'm just curious now. Drogheda, Dundalk, Ben Harps. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so we're going to go back to nation rules. Back to division. Now we already done this before, but I'm not going to breeze through it this time. So we're going after competition. Electricity, 12 teams, lovely. Okay, number of rounds, 2. Substitution rule, 3 from 7. Now, number of promotion places, 0. Number of relegation places, I'm going to give it 1. I'm going to have 2 relegated, but I'm going to set up a playoff system for the bottom 3 teams, where the bottom team gets relegated, and then position 11 and 10 play off in a 2-legged tie. Loser is relegated. So just 1 match day 7th. Okay. Now this pops up. Now we have our 12-12-2, number of rounds 2, minimum teams, points for a win. You can give any number of points you want. Like rugby union gives 4 points for a draw, 4 points for a win, 2 points for a draw. You can even give 1 point for a draw, 2 points. There you go. So you still get points. If you leave these blank, a win will be 3, a draw will be 1, a defeat will be 0. Fixture priority. This one can be confusing at times. Friendly basically means that it's not important at all. It won't be prioritized for television revenue, and it basically is listed as like the least important competition in the thing. So like domestic cup, how this works, see if it'll hover over, like the priority for matches at this stage. And what this comes down to is ideas of like fixture scheduling Like, will matches be moved? Will cup competitions be moved? Will it schedule around European competitions? Will it ignore kind of like competition, things like that? The higher the fixture priority, the more attention is paid to it. Play around with it for a while. So number of promoted, number of relegations, already gone through this. B or reserve teams cannot be promoted. This is handy for like the second tiers. If you got a structure with B teams in there and you don't want the B team to go up into the first division, you can just click B teams can't be promoted, and it means that even if a B team wins, the promotion spot will just skip down. So these are handy, but no point having it here. Okay, league sorting rules. I have a system that I like, but I recommend just read through all of these and you'll get an idea of how all of this works. So the system I use is, I use 5. I use goal difference, then goals 4, then goals 1 or games 1, then matches between teams, and then reserve division. Where is it? Oops. Ranking a reserve league. There you go. Yes. And the reason I say reserve league is because one of the things that I'm going to do in this competition is I'm going to set up a provincial competition for B teams to play off against really low reputation teams, to give the B team like actual match day experience. And the position matters for the main league. That's what's important to this one. So television money per club. So it's per club. Now, if we were to do something like, I would say the League of Ireland, just say television rights of 5 million. So 5, 1, 2, 3, divided by 12 will be every club gets 416,000. So let's put that in. 416,666. There you go. Every club gets roughly 400,000. So that's the general tab. Go into dates, start date, end date. This basically are the dates between which all of the fixtures are planned. Now, what I like to do is, no matter what happens, if it's at the end, I like to pull back one weekend so that I can have the FA Cup or whatever equivalent is at the very end. So I'm going to go May 8th. But I'm also going to pull this forward into January, the February 1st, to make room for that secondary division, to make room for that second competition, that provincial competition I spoke about earlier. But this is how you can move that start and end date. The match days, it's going to automatically select Saturdays, and then it's going to move it around depending on cup competitions. 3 p.m, that's fine. Check for clashes with. Now, this can be awkward at times depending on your reputation, like the league reputation and the reputation that you gave here in fixture priority. What I like doing is all except Continental Cups. Just my preference. If you go all, it's going to keep an eye on what's the word I'm looking for? International fixtures as well as the European competitions. So I'm doing all except Continental Cups, so that way it'll give me breaks for internationals, because I'm thinking ahead and I'm going to presume that I can get the Irish League to have Irish internationals in it. Ambitious, I know, but you know, it's the plan. Break period. Do you want the league to break? I don't. TV dates. Okay. Important. This is in descending order of most important on top. So originally the Saturday, number of matches, let's say it reschedules 3 matches to Sunday. And the new time will be at 17:45. TV type will be satellite. Now, satellite, national pay-per-view, don't televise. I've never really been able to figure this out in terms of like which will give you the better, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the better television revenue and things like that. I probably need to do more experimenting with this, but I mix them between satellite and pay-per-view personally. Okay, now match type, I'm going to go shared around. This one is going to be the Sunday, but it's going to be set for say 20:45. Whoops, that's 12. So this is 8:45. This is going to be pay-per-view, and it's going to be big matches. And then I'm going to add one at the bottom, and it's going to be for, say, Friday evening, 8:45, and this is national, and it's going to be minor matches. Okay, so this is allocating television days. Do you know the way sometimes when you're playing and basically say, this game has been, this fixture time has been changed due to television deals? This is what controls that. Prize money. Now, you can allocate by position, or you can give prize money per win, draw, and defeat. Sometimes it can be fun to have prize money per win, draw, and defeat. I think the The Turkish top flight does money for wins. Like for the provincial competition, that's what I'll be doing. I'll have like 100,000 euros for every win. So in total, it was like 1, 2. So if you win every game in your competition, so it's 7, 7, 14, it's 1.4 million euro. For a first place, it's 1.4 million. So they're going to get lower than that because what's the odds of them winning every game? Higher if it's me and I'm 7 seasons in. But you know, so you can have all of this, and now you have position 1. You'll edit that to 2. You edit this to 3. You edit this to 4. You see how it goes, and then you say, like I say, 500,000, and then 420,000, and then 36. 1, 2, 3. You know, just not 36 million. This, just play around with it. Something that I like to do sometimes that I'll do is I'll pick, say, 500,000, and then I'll times it by, say, 0.87. So then it'll give me 435,000. So 435, 1, 2, 3. And then what I'll do is equal again, 378 equal 332 equal 286, and then it descends down where it means when you get about like 12 times, you end up with like 94,000 at the very end, where you get that jump, but it's stepped down. That's one thing I personally like doing. So I've got to clear this. I'll do that in my own time because I just don't want to do it right now. Fixture rules. Fixture rules important. Okay. Max squad size 25. Standard. Everyone does this. Match rules. You can have like match day squad, maximum of 4 players in match squad. Read through these and see if these are something that you want to do. I personally don't like having these rules. They're not really of interest to me, but an important thing is these are about the match day. So this is like what you can put in your squads. Now, squad rule here. Maximum annual wage. Minimum EU players. Minimum of under 24 players in squad. I need to double check because like sometimes like homegrown player rules, these didn't seem to kick in for me the last few times I've done them. I haven't tested it yet in FM21, but if this doesn't work, I'm going to show you how to do it in the advanced rules, because that's typically where I do. When I go into the advanced rules, once I'm finished organizing the structure proper, I then go into the advanced rules and do it. But this is where you can get it from. But the max squad, that's the one you want in there. Other is point deductions. Yep, very straightforward. Playoffs. This is where it gets fun. So you can have a championship playoff, say 4 teams, prize money, say 100,000 or 1 million. Okay, match rules. Okay, again, very straightforward. Extra time, penalties, away goals. Number of legs. You can do 2 legs, or you can do 1 leg. I'm going to do 2. And then I'm going to get rid of this because I don't like championship playoffs. You can't have a promotion playoff and a championship playoff. Relegation playoff. Cup. Number of teams from this division and playoff. 2. Number of teams from lower division and playoff. That can be fun because one thing you can do is you can put 1 team from this division and 1 team from the division below. And number of teams relegated basically is how many teams from this competition will get relegated. So 1. So the competition that I've set up as it is right now is it's going to pull the second bottom team and the second placed team from the division below. They'll play off each other in a cup. The winner stays up or is promoted, or the loser gets relegated or doesn't win promotion. I personally prefer having them contained within prefer having them contained within competitions. That's just my preference, but play around with it. You can get some really interesting combinations here. So that's doing the league structure itself. These can be a lot of fun to play around with, and I recommend just playing with it, having fun. What you then do is rules, test rules. Teams should not be relegated from SSE or SSE 1 as there are no division below it. That's handy. And if I go to like transfer window, and then if I click test rules, it'll pull me to the problem. This I really like. Get rid of that relegation because there's nothing beneath it. Go back to rules, test. There should be no relegation. Okay, so get rid of that because there's no relegation. Test rules, valid. Okay, so now we're going to create the division below it. So we're going to go where am I going? SSE Electricity League 2, so back to clubs. Now, divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my 2 competitions. University College Cork. Whoops. Back to competitions. Up to division. Search. And I'm looking for this one. Back to divisions. Now click division. Click add. Single division. And I'm going Electricity second division. Same as this is last time. 2. And now 1, 0. Because there's nothing beneath it, and I want 1 promotion place. Now, we're going to go back in here. I'm going to reset up that cup for a relegation battle. Match rules, extra time penalties, away goals, because I want this to be a 2-legger. Now we're going to go back in here, go to the second division, or the first division, which is the second tier, promotion playoff. 1, 2 in there. Okay. Now this is a handy one. Because we've already done some of the systems in here, we've already like organized the league rules. Press copy, go into the electricity division, paste. That'll paste them all in. That's handy as all hell. Domestic league low, domestic league high, dates, and I want to move this again back into February 1st. Move you back 1, and I'm actually going to move May back an extra 1 just to give it time for the playoffs, so that if a team involved in the playoffs makes it to a cup final, they're not going to get like 3 matches in one, like 3 matches in 2 games. I don't want something like that. You don't want to end up with like Liverpool back in the International Club Championship, where they literally had 2 games in 2 days. That was a nightmare. Okay, so and we're going to go rules, test rules. Nations rules are valid. Then we're going to go in, save that data as maybe Ireland League version 1. There we go. And then what you do is just go over here, start a new game. You probably know where you're going from here. Ireland League version 1, confirm, advanced setup. And hey presto, what do you know? Once this opens up for me, there's my 2 divisions. Now, this is where I'm going to leave you off. My friends, setting league structures is fun. It's probably like the time you're going to spend. It's the part of the editor we're going to spend most of your time in. So it's handy to get familiar with it, because if you can kind of get used to this, the rest of the editor kind of unfolds itself for yourself, where you can then start getting into the weeds about adding the detail to customize your competition so that it can become more and more of like your competition, so that you can add your flavor to it. So hey, I hope you've enjoyed that, my friends. Have fun, and have fun editing.